DARDEST TV in association with Block 5, and we're back again. You know what we do, the real talk interviews. Let's start this off by bigging up Julie, you get me? We're down here in the Stockwell Community Centre. She's giving us the love. So big up her and the team. Get down there and support. You know what you're seeing here. Man like Rambo, you get me? Official in this community game. Right about now, Rambo's back for part 2, you get me? He's unhappy with me. He's saying I didn't do him right in the first one, talking too much gang, you get me? The roads want Rambo's story. So we're back today to give you that. What you saying, big man? You good?
Yeah, man. What about the artists? Big up everybody. All pouting people.
Let's start this right back at the beginning, big man. Rambo. Why you got the name Rambo? What makes you be called Rambo, rude boy? Except for if you're calling out too many Sylvester Stallone movies out here, you get me?
What a bomb buckle out now. Let's get it straight, yeah? My name Rambo came from my father, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. My father was called Rambo of Taurus High Power Sound. Yeah, during, 83 to 1990. My father was actually Rambo. He was actually a sound manager for Taurus. He was a community man, you know, and he was my father and I looked up to him. And that's where I got that name from. But my official name was really Junior Rambo still.
Yeah.
Because people see me with him and call me Junior Rambo. That's how it really started off, bro.
Okay. All right, let's get the silliness out of the way first, then we get into you. So obviously the last time you sat down, we talked on gang. Right now we want to know, what exactly is your position right now with gang? How do you see that?
Well, my situation with gang, I'm no longer involved with the members of gang, you know. Like, we kind of disassociate ourselves and stuff, and we all doing our own thing. I always, you know, I'm Captain Rambo, I've always been a community activist and stuff, so I've always been me, bro. So I can't really talk for the other man, them, you know. I believe that Rasbet is like family forever now, and he's doing his thing.
Yeah.
You know, with the rest of the man, them, I don't know, I can't talk for it, bro.
Okay, so just to finish that off then, what you saying, as regards Rasbet and Jedi, there ain't no latest between none of you three. You don't know what they're on.
I don't know what they're doing or nothing.
Say no more. What about Speaker's Corner? Do you still go up there? What do you know about Speaker's Corner? Is anything still popping?
Speaker's Corner for me, I only went up there for one objection really, to really talk with the youngers and talk with the youths and try to step out from there. But with Speaker's Corner, I don't have no need to go up there to speak on no subject no more.
So you ain't about
I'm not
there.
about Speaker's Corner or nothing again.
Okay, so let's get into what you are. Man like Captain Rambo, an official Black Panther, British Black Panther. So I'm gonna ask you, how does that come about? Because obviously everyone knows the Black Panther movement was in America.
Man, basically, back in the days, yeah, my grandfather, rest in powers, yeah, was good friends with Darkest Howe, who was a youth minister of the British Black Panther Party or the Black Power movement from in the 70s to the 80s from over Ladbroke Grove, you know, and stuff. So my grandfather and him were good friends. And when I used to visit my grandfather, them and they kind of, you know, made me interested in about my struggles and liberation. So from a young youth, I kind of gravitate to it. And once social media and everything was coming about, I kind of got in contact with a couple of the formations, like the New Black Riders, New Generation Black Panthers, the New Black Panther Party of self-defense. So I kind of was dealing with them and everything, and I love what they were doing with the youths and the people in the community in general. And I thought, you know what, man, say it's fine. I've got the elders who were actually official members of the British Black Panthers, who were fighting the struggles of the time of my parents, round the new generation, and I take that chance because I believe that the slogan Black Panthers, it was the very great pool, or the community pool for the people back in my community. That's why I went back on it. I thought, you know what, I'm gonna do this thing here. Gotta get my berry, make sure I'm satisfied. So man don't talk about me, the US or whatever, yo, I'm satisfied. Man wants to tell me anything about British Black Panthers of the old school, man, I'm talking about the seniors, man, satisfied, because I just tell you that we had Black Panthers in North West London. I linked up with them, I even linked up with the elder them, like Brother Minka and some of the ones who're still around today, and you know what, the reason and stuff, and I excelled myself on that, bro. But yeah, man.
All right, well, let me ask you a question on that, because obviously anybody who's got a brain and knows history knows that Black Panthers is official. It's a movement that's gone through the decades.
Yeah.
But right now, when you're walking them streets and trying to show the young youths, listen, it's dead out here. What does being a Black Panther do for you with the young youth? What do they see in that?
Me, to be real with you, it's not, I don't go out and really show that every day. Yeah, I'm a Black Panther, yeah, and stand up on the side of Brixton High Street and do all of that stuff. Nah, not me, bro. Black Panthers was always embedded in our community, bro.
Yeah.
Always. What the Black Panthers stood for from the 60s, 70s, in the 80s and everything, still the policy and the principles still stay today, bro. So certain of me saying me coming as a Black Panther to certain people, it's still got that, you know, hope, that motivation, it's still got that.
Yeah, but I'm asking you what hope that's got with the young youths, because like I say, to bigger people, the Black Panthers is official.
As I said to you, with the youths, most of the youths know these stuff. They heard of the Black Panthers, man.
Yeah.
So what I'm giving to them ain't no fucking new thing, bro.
No, but I'm saying that they respected it like the older generation.
They respect it, because what the elders stood for, when they're hearing some of the gang members, especially in America, the bloody Crips, they're even explaining to them, yo, when we go to jail, we always stand that the Black Panthers were doing positive stuff for the community. They understood it. Gangs over here, or most of the older gangs and everything, like my age group and a bit more younger, can't understand their history of what the Black Panthers did over here.
Yeah.
So it does have a former thing. And you could pick it up in everybody.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, I don't think you're grasping what I'm saying. I'm saying, is you embedding that in the youngers? Because like you just said, the gang's more your age. The youths now, I'm talking, the 15, the 16.
When it comes to the youths,
they feeling the talk of the generation before them. Yeah.
They're feeling it, bro.
Yeah.
Say it got that long. Confusing. Big up, bro.
Okay, let's get on to you now. Like I'm saying, this is your story today. Your history, your life. So I'm going to start it like this. What was childhood like for Captain Rambo? Growing up, what was you seeing through family?
Well, boy, I was born in the 70s, yeah? Like on the late period of the 70s, so by the time the 80s come, my awareness was picking up fast from the age of 3 or 4. My mother and father were like, you know, they were known in my community, they did their things, but they were also respected.
Yeah.
You see? So by the time I got to like, as I said, 5, 6, 7, my whole life was becoming moulded around the sound system environment. As I said to you before in the last interview, that my father and mother was actually involved in the sound system, and they was actually involved in the music industry.
Yeah.
You know, so that was my early being growing up. I remember going to a lot of the dances.
Yeah.
You know, I remember a lot of the elders of that time as I was growing up. It was a lot of the artists and elders who my family grew up with. I kind of grew with them, you know. I hope I'm leading you to your following up with your question.
Oh, yeah, of course. Don't worry, I got my bit covered. So I'm going to quickly ask you, give us some of the names on the sound that people might have forgot. Give us some of the names that were banging on the sound.
Banging on the sound, well, boy, we had a selector called Jeremiah. Now, Jeremiah was a Rasta man. He knew his music, he knew his tunes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ricky Rankin, very talented artist, DJ, I always say that. And Ricky Rankin, boy, if you want to say about role model in that field of life, one of that. And he's a real, original Brixton man. No one can't tell Ricky Rankin nothing. Ricky Rankin was very talented. Another brother around the sun was Bugsy Malone. These men are foundation singers. The ability to sing on dancehall rhythm. From Studio One, China One, and Robot Dog, dancehall, you understand? Then we had Welton. Welton was actually from Frontline, original Brixton sound, yeah? Steppers, the Wood Boy sound, from in the early 80s.
Yeah.
During the time before and after the Brixton riots, that's not alongside his by the principal, you know? Love them man there. Then we had another artist called we had enough DJs who come past you. Then during the 85, 86 period, another sound joined in with that, and that was called Young Destroyer sound, where it had Corporal, Major, Spunky, those three, Red Eye. Them men were from Tune, but still submerged with Taurus, but you know, they were all the official as a youth son of that time, submerged themselves. You had Buddha Rankin, who was really from Stockwell.
Yeah.
Now, Buddha Ranks was very, very talented. And most of these artists who I'm talking about never swore the white man, never talk about they go shoot man under them bomb buckler, you know, and man this and man that. It wasn't like that. And those are the periods of the times of, yeah, your great ranking dreads and that, bro. You had other DJs like Champion, you had other artists like Smiley Culture, Asher Senator. Then you do with Saxon. See that my upbringing was around pure soul, man.
Yeah.
And pure artist, bro. So when I'm trying to explain, bro, it was sometimes I used to go to a dance and have to go to primary school after. But because this primary school system was a bit set different them time in the 80s, we could just go and hopefully we keep our eyes open up until we go bed in the, you know, go bed straight after school and that. That was mostly my upbringing, bro.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. I want your realness on this. Like, we just had a little conversation before the camera went on about the sounds now. Like, obviously, King Tubby's still going strong. You were showing me that the Coxswain's still going strong. Like, everyone's heard of the Saxon. But what I want to know from you, when you was a young you and you had the sound to look to, what's the difference in a youth looking and growing to the fact of now the young youths don't look to the sound like that? Where are they going wrong?
You know what? Sometimes it's not where they're going wrong. It's actually where has dancehall has evolved into.
Yeah.
Where has it changed into. Because no man ain't chatting around no PA set like that, not much. Only a few artists, but they make records, bro. They're not as dancehall DJs where a selector could play the A side, then the double A side on the vinyl. Or you will say the tune, then the rhythm or the version.
Yeah.
You ain't doing it like that. But I ain't gonna say dancehall industry is dead, but it's not the way as we are. Youths are doing straight doublets and specials for some stuff. Rather than going on a mic and DJing all night, they just go to a studio, cut 10 dub plates or specials for that sound alone, yeah? And that's how it's been fruitful. And what I'm trying to say, that's how it was evolved in from my days. back in my days, as I saw it growing up, your brethren them or your people from your community will see themselves set up on some sounds run from Monday till Sunday, bro.
Yeah.
You have to always know that we didn't have certain laws and legislations pertaining to having a dance, you understand? So
Yeah.
when I'm explaining to you, the youths of today doesn't need to really make their money by going on the mic. They get shows by doing, you know, PA shows, they get PAs, or they go and do straight doublets, so the dynamic is just changed.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to get from you is where did that change? Because let's be real, back in your day, man was watching the sounds.
Yeah, well, that's
I'm
more,
not finished.
That's more year 2000.
No, but what I'm trying to say, big man, I'm trying to get the question out, Uber.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. Now, a youth's watching rap. He's listening to rap, he's listening to drill, he's following that. A lot of that's a lot more violent.
Yeah.
But like I'm saying and you're saying, the sounds are still going. King Dark Tubbies is going strong, Saxon's going, Coxon's going strong, Saxon's still going, but the youths ain't watching that like they should be. Why has that changed? What has made them not want to watch the sound like that?
To be honest with you, it's the music genre they're in now, bro. Like most of us in the 90s who was into dance, we were into other music also, bro. We was into jungle now, or we submerged into house and garage, bro.
Yeah.
Or today, funky house. The youths though has just gone into their own genre of music.
Yeah.
Drill now, so it's their thing. You always know when you had grime of the older lot, they had their own set of genre. Not to say they don't listen to dance or they don't think about it. It's just what they're into now. Not every youth out here is into dancing or into sound systems.
Yeah. Like that, but as much as the people that still run them sounds are trying to keep that joyful vibe, the youths are a lot more on the violent vibe. You get me? They want to hear the fuckeries. Exactly.
That's what the music kind of led into. But as I was saying to you, we had that in the 90s when we was under a thing called raga. When we was using dance when it came to us in the 90s generation, it was raga to us. Bleach jeans, bandana around the head, bad boy style.
Yeah, but most of the ragga from that era was like a Shabba Ranks and that. Their thing was more Lover and all that. You get me?
Yeah, there was movies.
And a Shaka Demus.
See, we talk about Shaka Demus and all of that. They were more of the older generation. Now when I talk about my generation, you really have to talk about Bounty Killer.
And Butcher Bantons,
who come bad. Being the one, they come with girls, you have Terror Fabulous, all of that. They were talking some real...
Yeah, but I'm saying their realness wasn't as fucked as the realness now. They're talking about pussy and all that stuff. You get me? They're disrespecting the youths' minds.
Yeah, man. But see, I like that. As I said to you, it's just how the music is involved. It's not a thing where the oldest are in charge of the music like that. It's like what sells in the music industry. We market it, bro. And tell you the truth, there's a big market for slapness and godliness and all of that right now.
But what does it do to you as a community, man, when you hear these young youths? If you ain't talking gun, you ain't talking knife, you ain't talking juking someone down or slap a girl's a slapper, they don't want to hear that tune. What does it do to your head thinking this is what they want?
But it's that, you know, certain things I can't tell you what music to listen to.
Yeah.
But we could also tell you how to make his tunes, like clean up your things. We could encourage that, bro. But remember, these youths are getting more views for their stuff than even the elders were getting views.
All right, let me ask you, what was your parents like to you? Was your parents strict?
Boy, you know, my parents weren't no old parents, bro. Like, my parents had me when they were young. They were clued up on the road, and they dealt with me according of how I was growing at that time. And I wasn't no angel myself. You know what I mean? I was more like a old boy.
Okay, well that gets on to my next question. I want to know from you, what did the young Rambo see on these roads? What was you seeing as a youth? Who was you hanging around? What was popular for you? And what did you think was going to make you that money and get you popularity?
Ross Clark, y'all got some history. Alright, listen to all this, right? I'm going to talk hard to you now, bro, right? I didn't really learn road or start to, you know, come out my house when I was like 8, 9 years old, bro.
Yeah.
Like, used to walk around my whole of my community in, and if my parents were taking me over to Battersea, walk on the road then, you know, from a young age. And to be real, without parent guidance and all of that, I came on the road from officially when I was in secondary school, 89. When I was going to school then, and I started to see things, so I started to learn that, well, I already knew the junction and the 28s. Because I'm in Southwest,
yeah.
You understand? And by the time I was like, what, I met a brethren when I used to go ice skating, like 89, 90, yeah? And my brethren, big up, you know what I mean? Radio Wonder, bro, I have to call you out. Original Peckham, you understand? Brethren, meaning was into sound system, into cassettes.
Yeah.
See? And we would go ice skate, you know, you come to my house and I got to Peckham. This was early 90s, bro, yeah? We just link up, share cassettes and all of that. His parents checked for me, you know, yeah. We go to all days for we used to go Rocco Park, trust me. We used to go all of these places. You know, and that was my bona fide brethren still. That was the first youth who made me really travel for one part of West London to South East. Then you from South, you already know about Brixton and all of that, but you know, through the South system, again, my parents already knew about Peckham. Yeah. Peckham had a foundation sound called Viking, where the great Top Cat used to DJ upon that song. Yeah. You understand? So Peckham man had their sound systems, you understand? But you know what? History is history. I've never had no beef with Peckham, no New Cross, Lewisham, none of that. And my upbringing, stepping on road, started to go to all days like Lady Road Park, Burgess Park, where I start to learn about Woolly Road man them, yeah? Right, and the Old Kent Road man them and Peckham man them, you know? Go there, but because I used to go there with a couple of my birds, you know, from all Brixton, Tooting and all of that, and we come as one unit. Yeah. You know, been there, see all of the youths, we was going through our local gang fights and all of that. We would just turn up at Clapham Common, pure man up there from all ends. Most of us will fight each other, they go to fucking school Monday morning and just talk about it. Yeah, bro, remember this and remember that. And that's how it was, because we were all youths. We wasn't big men, by the way. We were juvenile teenagers. My generation was actually the younger. So if people's talking about younger 28 and younger Peckham and YPG, that was my age group. Yeah. I mean, that's the 40, that's really like the 43s, the 44s, the 45s, the 46. When we're talking about 28s, age bracket, again, them in their 50s that got grandkids, you know, they don't even want, their youths don't have their grandkids don't have no knowledge of how we were. Like myself, I ain't gonna ever teach my grandkid, oh yeah, I was a gangster and all of this stuff. We all did what we did. We had best child ever. You know, remember these times, you know, West London had their crew. You had the Shepherd Bush, you had Lambert Goldman, you had Howard Roadman there, Mozart, yeah. Then you got acted, as I said, Bush, and it goes like that. That's Westman, yeah, right? Then you got East, you know, Stephanie Green, Hackney, Stratford, all around that, down the old crew. North London, you had the Firm, Tottenham, and all the other cliques what came out of that. Over North West, you had the Muscle Kick-Off head of crew. Then Stonebridge, Harston boys and kicks that St. Ralph's and Mozart and around them areas, because as I was growing up in my teens, as I was going into my 15, 16 era, I kind of knew the whole of South. I was involved with the South system called Stamina One from I was at 13 years old, bro, being a band boys. Big up stylists, get me money on them man there. Still play music today. Stylist actually runs with UK Apache when he was doing his, regional nutter thing. Yeah, but most of my peers and most of my people, when we were youths, we were doing sound systems, we was in a posse, you know where I'm coming from, and stuff like that. Yeah, man.
Okay, well, let me get on to something there. You named a lot of areas there and a lot of cliques. I want to ask you, just for your area alone, there was a lot of gangs that have passed through your time period. Obviously, back in the day, you had the Raiders, you get me? Then from then it went down to 3 generations of 28s, Untouchables, to name a few. What does you think of gangs? And I'm not going to ask you to tell us what you think we want to hear, because a lot of people will come on here and pretend they're not for gangs and it doesn't gas them up, and they know bare gang members behind closed doors and they're nice with them.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you for your realness. What do you think of the gangs that have run through South London through the decades?
Me personally, I would say when I was a youth, remember, when I was a youth growing into it, I kind of got exposed to it from, as I was saying to you, Ted.
Yeah.
Remember, Brixton had like Brixton Boys, 28s, One and Penny Posse. There were like Summulator Boys and various other cliques within that area. Sometimes, if the whole of Brixton is coming out, they could come under one umbrella, 28s or Brixton. They're all coming out. But what a lot of people don't realise, there were other areas what made up these cliques.
Yeah.
It started off from school, bro. When we were in schools, we went most probably to a school like main schools. It was like Bevid, Chestnut Grove, William Penn, Graveley, Dunraven, and a few other schools what were about. And during that time, that's what kind of created the gangs. Like when we're talking about Junction, then you got the Battersea Boys, then you got Front to Chichester, original Rolly Road, that's called Dodder Estate now. They had their elders and that, they had their cliques.
Yeah.
So the whole of South London, to me, had their posses, what was all tailored designed by the schools where we come from, by our parents and by our peers. Some of us used to even go to, this is how it all went. It was that, depending on your school, you will know maybe 3 or 4 gangs, because man will come near and far to actually attend to that school.
Yeah.
We were all youths. It's the same way how we could say our Raiders and this and that. Throughout the generation, if you see, the real really gang stuff came about when the Craigs was having their stuff, our grandparents had their little cliques. They might not really necessarily call it a gang name, but they had a posse, or they had a massive who they all called themselves off.
Yeah.
Even the sound systems had a good thing within that, because most of the communities were full of certain sounds. Saxon and Coxon, and Unity sound, and certain other sounds like Java over like Northwest and that. It didn't really matter what area you really come from, because if you follow a certain sound, you've got to follow that sound, you know. You will leave from your yard and follow that sound.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about how this gang thing, tell the truth, the gang thing right now is just being marketed and all of that. It's just being publicised and all of that. This gang thing now is just a money-making thing. You can have a logo and make money of gang. You could be in a little clique and make money of gang. So a lot of the gangs what I see growing up were really put together by either our parents or our friends or our school, because during those times there was a lot of racism going on. When you're talking about generations of the 70s, 80s and periods of the 90s, most of us were kind of dealing with a lot of racial issues. There was a lot of white gangs, bro.
Yeah.
If you really want to talk the truth, South London had, bro, we have NF and BNP, you know, bro. From where you go from like Mitcham, past what to Croydon and out Purley, you had bare white boys. What, you think they never had no run-ins with us? We had run-ins with them. Most of my peers had run-ins through Bull School, run-ins through them in all different prisons and different blocks and different wings. And all of that is the society, the community, and the system has moulded us into gangs. Because most of the people will tell you who's been to jail. As a man says, where you from? And you say to them, South, and you from this area, you might have to just link up with your man from that area. That's how it was really like in the prison system. Yeah. How certain reports are. Even on the road, it wasn't really all hunky-dory. Everybody's talking about, the stabbing, shootings and shit. It was bare trauma. All of this gang shit wasn't all nice and all, bro.
We can never say it was
nice.
It
was bare victims.
Yeah, of course. But this is where I'm going to have to cut this one short because we got to stay on point of what I'm asking you, big man. I'm asking you what you think of gangs. But what I also want to say is I keep having this little argument with a lot of people behind scenes about all the gangs that get forgotten. Like, nobody's here to disrespect any gang. But isn't it about the fact of the impact? For the 28s to still be shouted out, for the untouchables to still be shouted out, for the raiders to still be shouted out. Didn't they put in more effort than the others for that to happen? And let's be real, none of it is good. Like you said, there's a lot of people that have passed away and had fucking life-changing experiences because of these gangs. Yeah, man, but for them to still be shouted out, then they must have done something different.
Let me ask you this, yeah? Some gangs would always be up there on that shelf.
Yeah, and why is that?
Because it wasn't about what gang was shouting at the loudest or whatever. I would believe the people who I grew up with, the gangs I had affiliations with, it was like Brixton would always be called out. 28 would always be called out.
Yeah, this is what I'm trying to get the bottom, because you tell me.
Yeah, so remember,
why?
It's history, bro.
Yeah, but I'm saying all these gangs are part of history.
Do you know what?
Why is it that if you ask 10 people, 9 of them are going to mention 28? Why is that?
Because they were very popular, they did put in their work.
Exactly. As fucked up as it was and as wrong as it was, they made their name ring more than others.
Yeah, some did, yeah.
Yeah. So this is what I keep getting to with people. When I ask them about things, they don't want to talk it, but behind scenes they got bare opinions on this one and that one that got forgotten. But at the end of the day, talk up, innit? If you think your gang is bad, talk up.
No, it was like this. I get where you're coming from. As I'm trying to explain to you, see, sometimes when you're old head and you try to reflect on the old days, sometimes your older mind ain't really allowing you to actually let you vision it as it was when you was a youth, bro. As I say, 28s were up there. Junction boys, you know what I mean? They were up there. Because of the area where I came from, their names echo from long in the 80s.
Yeah, of course.
You know, and they did do their work, as you say. Yeah. You know, and that's why they've been mentioned, bro. They actually been involved. Some of these gangs has actually been in the news and on the thing. That's why they've been ringing, bro. Yeah. Remember when we used to talk about, why is these guys keep on ringing? Because it's always in the fucking media, bro.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask you this again.
Those other gangs was never really put in that media spotlight, bro.
Yeah, and there's a reason for that. Because the people that were watching, as bad as it sounds, they thought that gang was bigger than the rest.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say it to you again, but before I do, I'm going to make this clear on camera. Nobody thinks gangs are right. Obviously, if somebody's sticking together in a gang because they want to find unity, then yeah. But if they're doing fuckeries on road and killing people, hurting people, then obviously it's not right. But real's real. No one can't change history. If you was a 28, if you was an untouchable, obviously down to the PDCs and the old trays and the block 5s and the Mitesfield. Obviously, they done something better than others for them to be known more, innit? It was more, let's say, the popularity was more spread.
Alright, if you're gonna say that, remember that if you go gang culture, same way. If you really want your gang to be known out there, you have to
do the most fucking shit.
It doesn't matter about gangs in fucking London or gangs in fucking Birmingham or Manchester. When your gang has done the most ruthless thing or really to go to that level where your other gangs ain't ready to go, they will be called out, bro.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because in the gang culture, even the mafia's done all of that. The families had to become ruthless.
Yeah, they had to do more than the other family, yeah.
They had to do that, they done that to make it known.
Yeah, that not to fuck with us. Yeah. So I'm going to ask Rambo this again, and before I do, I'm going to tell youths that gangs are wrong, violence is wrong, but obviously it's happening out there. We can't change that. We can't change history. So I'm going to say again to you, big man, you have been round bare gangs through your time. What do you think of gangs? Because you never entered a gang, even though you know certain man. So there must be something that stopped you from being in gang. What do you think of gangs?
Boy, as I was taught from my own experience, it was like my upbringing. My parents, as I said, my dad made me know things. I was with him most of the time.
Yeah.
So I had a bit of I had an elder with me. I had my elders with me, what could deter me from being involved in gangs. Do you understand where I'm coming from? I can't really, every youth man out here has their own reasons what made them be in a gang. You know, remember, as I'm trying to say, some people were involved in gangs because their family, their brothers, their cousins, their sisters, it was a gang, it was a family thing to some people. Yeah. Others, it was an affiliation. They went to this school and they became friends and became members of certain gangs. I'm not trying to glorify it, it's like anybody becoming involved in a movement. You could be involved in any movement, but what made you become that movement? You understand? Yeah. What made you be involved in that? And as you explaining that we're not trying to glorify it and try to say, yeah, we approve this gang thing of today, you understand? But as I say to you, these youths will have to tell you their story. Because one thing I learned, that everybody had a different story to tell. Some people never wasn't really like me, but probably had mother and father with them. Some youths, they just had their mothers. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I can't really tell you what makes youths them join gang, but what made me not to be involved in gang, because of my upbringing, the elders around me was all close. I had youth clubs to go to. I had play centres to go to, and even when I was in my teens, I had some form of interest to be involved in. What kind of made me not partake in most of the gang activities. Not to say I was not there and I never tried not doing no fuckeries. As I tried to explain to you, I was a local rude boy myself. Yeah. I was a person who did bad things. So as I said, I have my own reasons for doing that. Yeah. And I have my own reasons why I don't need to be in a gang also. Yeah, we're going to get more into that in a minute. So let me ask you now, from when you was running around these streets up until now, there's bare people that could have been in them streets or looking through their windows and seeing what they see. People's got this thing where they call themselves foundation. Like they want us to know that they're foundation. Certain people are telling me Rambo's foundation. So I want you to tell me in your words, what makes a person foundation? What does? Well, a person, to me, who could be considered as foundation, somebody who's been there from the beginning, bro. Yeah. So, some of us we grew in this war, this so-called gang war thing. Yeah. You understand? Some of us were actually growing up in it, bro. What makes us could say we are foundation. Without this gang thing, even if you take to more of the positive side of the community, to say what makes a person foundation is because far back as they remember, that person has been around. Yeah. You know I'm coming from. That's why we say he's a foundation or their foundation. And if they've done great works, and done good works and done a good impact amongst their people, we will call them legends. Also.
We're going to get into that as well, So I'm going to ask you, as you sit here now, and man's asking you, obviously I'm going to say, I know you not to lie to me, but I'm going to ask you not to put no lie into this question, because bare people lie when I ask them this. I'm going to ask you, right now as you're sitting here, do you respect the bad man or the man who's working in Tesco's? Because a lot of men will say they respect the Tesco's man, but they'll be up on Instagram bigging up someone telling you a gassed up story,
Alright, let me make this clear. Some of the man them who I consider as bad man, right, let's say this word, because we also don't say this is a fucking loose word. A bad man to me was a person who was brave and everything. I have certain people I'll say, yeah man, he was a bad man because he did do certain badness. You know, but he some of the causes why he did the badness, I understand some of their causes. I always respect certain men who must put the lick off the post office or banks and go and do some fucking big money thing or some heist or something. They're bad men. And the way how I grew up in mostly of the Jamaican upbringing, so-called Yardie community. And when we say are bad man, we have bad man police, we had bad man soldiers, we had bad man entertainers. It's how one perceives that. Because today, we went through the stages where people were calling themselves bad man, wicked man, fucking hell now. You got man who's even worse than that. It's depending on what of the status and everything, but as a youth man or as a man coming up, I know what I mean by who is a bad man. Because I could even say who was a rude boy. You know what I'm saying? Or who was ragamuffin. It's the terminology how I grew up to understand what these were. Or who is a don. Some people think don is some drug baron, and some people think a don is a leader of an organisation and the community. It's depending that when the Matthews is calling themselves dons, no one ain't questioning that. These people were in suits and ties, but we will say fucking Boris Johnson is a don, because or president of the fucking residents, because he's the president of England. He's a don to certain people. Jehovah's Witnesses, how certain fucking things get thrown out the window with all this bad man talk. People will say, you know, the president of America is my bad man because he will go to certain countries and drop fucking bombs and shit, and plastic bombs and do their thing.
For real, So let me ask you, big man, have you ever been to prison?
Boy, no, I haven't. Not to say I've never been fucking close to. I had probations, I had fucking, where you call it, uncle track out, you know where I'm coming from. I had all of that, but not to, I've never done nothing where they call serious enough for me to be in prison camp. No, not
okay, the reason I ask you that is because as fucked up as it is, you're out here doing a job that's hard enough, trying to show youths a better way. But the fuckeries that we're living in is most of the time now, the youths don't want to listen to nobody who ain't done fuckeries theirself. If you ain't been prison, if you ain't bust your gun, if you ain't swung your knife, they don't want to hear the words you're saying because you ain't been through nothing they feel. What do you say to that as a man who ain't been through prison? How hard is it for you to crack them with that talk?
Do you know what, Rupert? It's enough of us. Don't get fooled, you know, bro. There's enough so-called bad man that who's never been in prison, bro. Don't get it twisted. Remember, we're living in a day and time where we got fucking cameras. They could watch you from fucking space. They could use animals to spy on you. You know, they got the whole works. They even got implant gangs now where they could just come in your clique. You do one big move, your whole fucking empire shut down. So the whole point of being, in thing I was just saying, I was the unfortunate ones who never got caught. Not to say I can't go to jail or next 2 years on tomorrow I can't go to jail. I'm just trying to explain to you that not all of us, bro, young youths, has gone to jail. Learn that, bro.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you this. What's the most testing, and I'm talking about the most fucked up thing that Rambo's been through in this life? What's the most test you've been given from this life?
Boy, you know, okay, as I said, when I was a little rude boy, I tried to push up myself. I remember the time I was like 14, 15, I thought I was a yardie.
Yeah.
Straight up, I started to link up with the yard man then, and certain of the bigger heads.
Yeah.
Then when I moved over to North West London, different level again, and as I say to you, like, you know, could have dead, bro. Been in situations, remember this, bro, we all get fucked with associates sometimes.
Yeah, of course.
Your brother's in war, you gone there, and you're at the wrong place at the wrong time, and he's gone off, and man them at the time said, yo, let him go, you understand, or allow him. And fucked up my friend. It's just at certain times, bro, and as I said to you, bro, things does come ugly. Or you push yourself out and say, yeah, you gravitate to badness will come, bro, for you. So, you know, certain times, like in the 90s and certain times, I had my people, my family to make sure that was level. But see, when I became a man, you realise sometimes it's just you know. Sometimes you have to learn to talk out certain situations. Is it really worth you getting shut and stabbed over certain lip service or certain things you did? Do you understand? And these are the certain things what made me go through certain things, what made me say I'm not involved in it again. You know, because I've always been amongst the crew, them, the pussies, them, and it's just been at wrong place, wrong time. Some people have made it, and some people have never made it out of certain situations. That's all, bro. You know.
So I'm going to say this to you, big man, because I know for a fact there's a lot of people out here that talk community and they ain't doing nothing. And they got people up on the Instagrams and the Facebooks bigging them up and they're doing nothing for no community. I know through a lot of people that you are really about the community. And you do try and help the youths and try and go to marches and pick up places.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, but I want to ask you this. What was it that made you really want to do that? Like, it's hard work. Let's not get it twisted. Youths don't want to listen. People want to gas them up. What made you really want to put yourself out there for them?
What really made me want to really put myself in is because, as I said again, through my adolescence, my later teens, I started to read, bro. I believed I kind of reformed myself in my house with the love and the guidance of my beloved family, bro. And what made me really want to help the youths, because that I just wanted to do, because it was in me, bro. I ain't gonna lie, it was always in me to stand up with the band there, and next week I just come out and chat some knowledge to them, but they're like, what the fuck? Rambo, blood, you're not easy. You know, I was a youth like this, I would be all on the block with our bandanas and next minute start chat some knowledge. And from that, I just grew with it. Because remember, when I was doing it, when I was younger doing it, when I had most of the fire, it was easy. Because once the man there, somehow I'll be in a barber shop or, on the block with my Guinness and my Swift, the next minute, man's talking pure righteousness and saying, we must free ourselves and we must liberate ourselves. So some of these things, the man them know me, bro. You know what I mean? I'll go dancing, man, I'll go raving, I'll take up my top. Boom, man's there, see me one-on-one in the little reason in the atmosphere, and I'll go for 3 hours. You know, and they're the type of thing what made me do it today, because these are the things what was molded, it was embedded in me. It was the music, it was the atmosphere of my elders who were just, when a man himself, he's a bad man, he's telling you not to go out and make moves. Remember, as I'm going to say again, a lot of the older man, they know what I'm talking about. The perlers, the steppers, they know what I'm talking about. Even when I do them thing, yo, Rambo, make sure you know blood clot fuckery,
Yeah.
You know, now the badness now, you're better than that now, bro. And it's the people them, you know, it's the same people that encourage me to do it, you know. So I would always say this, yeah man, 28th Junction, no matter where all the come from, you can be our shower. That I'll big me up with you, boy, and say, yeah man, got you and do your thing, man. Because at the end of the day, they're not on foundation, I don't have shit money when it comes to the youths and all of that.
Yeah.
I don't run them charity tricks and fake it off. And one thing I don't like to do is try to expose the youths them who I deal with as well. It's not about me going into some ends, having the confidence as an OG, then breaking my confidence every fucking minute, putting youths them on camera and incriminate them. Because some of the youths are really active. I realise as an old DARDEST, I'm like active no more. Like when people say, well, Clark, you haven't been active for like 20 years, bro.
Yeah.
What I've got? And they know I'm doing my thing, so I believe it's for the good. Some of us, at least a few of us, have to step out of all of these communities, at least be the ones to just
Smooth
balance
things
it
in,
out.
yeah.
Just balance it. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to do no government or police jobs to stop crime.
Yeah.
What I would like to do is just try to show the youths them or the people them better. Because I realise that once a man twice a child, and some of us as big men, we still have that child mentality as well, bro.
Yeah.
You understand?
Okay, let me ask you, has Rambo got kids?
No, I don't have children, but I could say consider stepchildren.
Yeah.
I've been in youth them life for a long time when I came in as a dad.
Yeah.
You
And
understand?
what do you say to them, the ones that are closest to you? What's your guidance to them kids?
It's not really what I say to them. Some youths them ain't stupid, bro. That's showing them say life is fucking hard, but these youths try to do straight as well. At least give them that confidence that we should try to straight our lives out. No matter if you have a job, you got your wife and kids, there's certain areas where we need to straighten ourselves out because we're all learning, we're all here to learn, bro.
Yeah.
And we could always learn off these youngers, you know. Most of these youngers make me, I learn off them most of the time.
Yeah.
Seriously. Like, I like, oh, then I could use that older head. I have to say, sometimes I'm really marvelled of how some of these youths are.
Yeah.
Because they've been highlighted in the mainstream that all of these youths from the ends are bad. Some of these youths of the ends has still never been to jail themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
You
Yeah.
understand?
Okay. So I'm going to ask you this, big man. You've been out here for a minute. You've been putting yourself about for this community and helping people. I'm going to ask you, have you had any back talk from anybody to say, listen, because of what you've done with them, you have changed their life. You've made them go on the straight and narrow. Has anyone ever come and said to you, because of your positive input, it's made them change their life?
Do you know what? I don't want to boast because as I talk, people's going to come in the comments.
Yeah.
Let the people discuss that. Remember, I'm not no fucking angel.
Yeah.
I don't have millions of pounds where I could physically take you out your ends and give you a house and everything. But let the people talk to you, bro. Because see, whatever I say, somebody could always counter it and say whatever they say the thing. But let the people tell you.
You heard what the man said. Don't be shy. Put them comments and let us know what Rambo's done for you. Alright, let us know. What's a normal day like for Rambo? Wake up in the morning. What goes on for you through that day?
You know what? My life ain't really like. I think, you know, as I said to you before, my everyday life is just doing what I need to do to survive. I'm trying to survive out here, just like everybody else. If I could grab a 9 to 5, local temporary work, I'll do that. If I have to go and do a little course to better myself, I'll do it.
Yeah.
It's like I'm trying to still live at the same time as keep my feet firm on the ground, bro. So it's not easy. It's like, as I say to you, I'm just on the fringe of becoming just like everyone else. Not everyone else, but just like that gangster thing. I'm just on the fringe, bro. But every day I get out and try to do positive, or what I view as positive.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna ask you this, big man. You've been through a lot of decades. You've seen a lot of shit. You've seen a lot of changes in humans and what they go through and what the government stresses onto them. So I'm gonna ask you to give us your real talk on this. As you walk them streets now, you got your two eyes. You're seeing what's good. What do you see out there? What do you see on them roads? Because I'll be real with you, I see a lot of people that look like fucking robots. They're just doing the same shit as another person.
We're saying living dead. Like
yeah, they just look like Sonsbys out there.
Well, we call them the sheep, innit?
Yeah.
Well, you have that, a lot of that guy now, you have a lot. Like, as I said, I've been doing certain protesters and stuff and see how people's mind over here is really fucked under how the government puts out stuff.
Yeah.
Just follow it.
Yeah.
Every single clout, they're just on it, like, you know, with this corona thing.
Yeah.
Everybody's just like that. And it's a lot of mental health problems I'm seeing effective in most of my generation, the older generation, especially these younger. A lot of younger brothers and sisters are suffering through a lot of depression, silent mental health issues. Well, even myself, because I grew up through those decades, even myself sometimes I feel my mind ain't right.
Yeah.
Because sometimes your own reality gets fucking shifted every so often.
Yeah.
You know? And sometimes the traumas or the calamities you go through, like losing your loved ones or you losing your property, losing your business, can shake all that for you.
Yeah.
You know? So sometimes I'm saying, I'm just lucky that I'm still myself. I know who I am and I still know who my identity is and shit. But it ain't easy out here, bro.
Nah.
It's very hard.
Yeah. On that note, I want to go into something that I want your opinion on. Something that's happening right now. Like right now, let's be real, the government is fucking us. It's a strong word to say and it's a rudeness, but they're fucking us. Every 2 minutes there's something else that they want us to pay for. They want to up the prices on. You go in the shops, the food's been upped. You go for your gas and electric, you're scared to put it on. And it's like now they've given people a helping with living payment. And I was on Facebook and I'm going to be honest with you. It's like people was happy to receive a payment from the government to help them. But they're not realising that the government took so much money off you that it's your money, they're just giving you back some of. Like, what do you think about that yourself?
You know what? This government has always dealt with us two-faced.
Yeah.
They always have dealt with us fuck up, you know. You ask the people them, yeah, the real people are suffering. They're not into voting, bro. They don't even talk about
exactly,
House of Parliament. They're not even interested.
Yeah.
We as a people, bro, until we wake up and actually, you know, have a fucking revolution, we always will be where we are now.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the truth.
Yeah, let me ask you something else. Boris is just gone. What the fuck does that mean to you? Because to me, it don't mean nothing to me.
Well, and next
one's going to come in and do the same bollocks,
same thing.
Yeah.
Remember, Boris and all of these, all of our prime ministers has been fucking junk. You understand? Two-faced. Yeah? To even white people understand that. You talk to an average working class white person, they will tell you about the government. Let what we think of it as a black community or whatever. We know how our government is. Yeah. We know how our mayor is. You understand? We even know how our local MP flexes.
Yeah.
And when we realise that England politicians are the head of all corruption, you have to question yourself. You know what I mean? As a Jamaican, we say Jamaican government is corrupted. We know that. Over here, we see people in suits do the exact same shit.
Yeah.
You know? And they have their little fucking gangsters and local area dons doing their fuckery too. They already told people already, you put in 100,000, you could have a say to these parties.
Yeah.
What you think ain't joke.
Exactly.
This government, what we have Yeah, I don't know what people was on. What, do they have to take away the fucking universal credit and the benefits system for us to fucking wake up? Come on, man.
Yeah. So I'm gonna ask you this. Is certified you try to make better for people? I wanna know about you. Like, what's enjoyable for you at a fucked up time now where, let's be real, it's getting harder? Like, what enjoyment do you get out of this life? What makes you happy? What are you into?
Only nothing, bro. I'm just me, bro. Like, I tell you the truth, I like got to the age and shit, man. I do with my community, I do with my people. I like to do the things what make me. What I got to the age and the time in my life where I don't really care what anyone thinks or say about me.
Yeah.
Because I feel whatever gives me the drive to wake up, go on fucking Instagram, go on the street, do that. That's my drive, bro.
Yeah.
That's what makes me live for.
Yeah.
You know? I wish I could say all the beautiful stuff, but that's not me, fam.
Exactly, yeah. Alright, let me ask you what changes you want to make in the future for the youths. Like, obviously what you've done so far is big, but there's got to be a next step. What steps do you
know
want?
What? If I ever could, I would love to have maybe a piece of land, have a building, a structure as we are in now, and actually deal with some real issues.
Yeah.
You know, until then I'm like, but it's a long walk, bro. It's a struggle. You understand?
Yeah.
It's a long journey, but like as I say, it's a long journey, but on a short path, bro.
Yeah.
I'm just on that journey. If I had the financial and that backing, you know what I don't like to do? It's because you have all the fucking wishes. Yeah, I would love to do this. Then when you find out these fuckers run off, these people run off and live their own lives and shit.
Yeah.
They have a good point where they're broken out, nothing, but as they're rich. Look at the big rappers or the big artists and the big celebrities out there. Hardly none of them is living in the community where they're really originally from.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's a madness,
real, yeah, to be real, I'm not into the crab in the barrel stuff and not me throw all eggs in one basket. As long as I'm alive and I've got breath and I'm able to speak clear or whatever so I can communicate with people, I will always try to do something.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
That's it, bro.
So if I was to ask you, as a person who's been out here doing for community, you hear of others that say they're doing for community. So I'm going to ask you, if I could tell you, name one person that you can tell the people, you know what, that person really is about their community.
You know what, I'll tell you the truth, that would have to be 95 Crip, UPP. When I'm amongst that youth there, that brother there, in his community, he's doing things. Yeah. No matter if he's on YouTube discussing stuff, you personally can sit down, say to people, I've been with him, and he's made me feel good what he does within his own community. If I even try to clout chase into the next man's areas and all of that, my man's is doing good, I have to say that.
Alright, so to finish on him, I just want to make clear what you're saying. You've officially been with him, not just seen, you've been with him.
Yeah.
And you know he's on what he says.
And I know him as well. I know his people, I know his family, I know where he's coming from, and there's another foundation for his community of and that. I'll big him up.
You heard what the man said, he's doing what he says.
Yeah, big up 95 Crip, man.
So I'm going to throw a few names in here that you lot need to be out there looking to and knowing that these people are doing right for the people in their community. You got Marius, legendary on the roads of Brixton. He's helped bare youths. You got Marlon Sampson up in Croydon. He's kept an estate going, stopped enough youths being stabbed through the years. Look to him. You got people like Kitson, teaching the young youths how to box. You got man like Julian, Red Dragon, helping youths get the fucking, what shall I say, the realness in them, the foundation of what he's done. He's helping the youths find, listen, dedication, you get me? Do something with your life positive. These sort of names, there's a lot more, but they're the ones I can remember right now. These people really are about their community. You see what I mean? So get out there and help these people. You just mentioned something a minute ago that I'm going to ask you your opinion on. To Rambo, what is a legend? Because I've had arguments with people where they're telling me,
I don't fully watch your
that if
stuff.
you're a man who's been out here and done fuckeries in any way on the road, you can't be called a legend. But then again, if your name's been ringing for 20, 30, 40 years, then you must be something.
You know what? See, that on that side of things, a lot of people has asked my views on what would you consider yourself as a legend.
Yeah.
And as I was saying, we say Bob Marley a legend.
Yeah.
See? We say...
But he's a legend for music, isn't it?
We will say...
Yeah.
Mike Tyson.
A legend for boxing, yeah.
Then we will say the men who used to hold the doors.
Yeah.
They were good, you know,
Yeah.
hold the thing. That was also legends,
Yeah.
bro. We had legends in all different fields.
Exactly.
And stuff.
You got film
Even the
stars that are legendary.
Yeah, community activists.
Yeah. And some of them are legendary for
Facts.
doing films when they're fuckery, shooting, stabbing, killing, drug selling. But when you've really done it, because it's foul, you can't be called a legend. Again, we're not saying it's real, it's right. Fuckeries is wrong. But your name rang bells. You're legendary for the roads.
And you know what? If you really look at it, yeah, most of the people who we called as legends, I swear they're not at home thinking, I'm a fucking legend.
Exactly. It's others who made it, yeah.
Who's made it, because when you know people certain personally, I know for a fact, most people is really scared of their name and they've never seen a person in their life.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and they become a, what you call a ghost legend. You understand?
Yeah.
There's some people who actually know the people and see them throughout the years.
Yeah.
They are called legends.
Yeah.
As I say, like, me being involved with the Black Panthers, many of us was considered as legends.
Yeah.
Some of us, if you do a crime report or you go into some FBI case, they got some fucking chunked or some charges added onto their name.
Exactly.
And that. So when it comes to who I consider, me personally, as I say, I'm not talking for the people, I'm talking for me. So I'm on a level. Some people are legends. I would consider myself as a legend. But it doesn't mean throughout my whole fucking history I've been squeaky clean. Yeah. It's what the people call me.
Yeah.
And it's what, you know, I swear to God, you speak to some of the people who the people call themselves legends, and you speak to them, I don't think they would ever consider themselves as a legend. Most people who's got all their names in count, who's ringing the bells out here, I swear right now, they're sitting down as in their 40s, 50s, with a different view of mine. I don't know why people's calling me a legend. I'm an old man now.
But let me switch that up on you now, because this is how fucked up our mind state is and what we think. You're legendary for the youths, for doing things for your community. There's a next man who's legendary for fucking up his community. If I put both of your interviews on the YouTube, each one's going to get 10 times more. But yet people will talk shit about they want real people. But yet you'll do the realness and they won't follow you.
Well, do you know what? As I said, that's on the lines of the viewers, isn't it?
Yeah, but they're the ones talking where they want realness.
Exactly, like you have me and another man, my age, been through the same era, but he's been on bag of fuck.
Exactly.
Do you know what? That is where is the viewers. The real silent listeners and stuff will know who is who.
But it's not even just the viewers, it's our mind state and how fucked we are.
And on that note, that's in every community, like you know, in every community. I see in England, America, Jamaica, if you put any top gangsters to a person who's really actually did stuff for the community, maybe the bad man get lined up more. When you have the righteous artists versus the bad man artists will get called out more. It's the way how we as a people's mind shape. So when we have the same shit with the white gangsters, you got young youths who's talking about their history.
Of course,
the Craigs, Richardsons, Adams, the Welsh, last club family, they go through. And remember, it's just the way how shit is at the moment, bro. Bullshit is selling at a highly rate than any factual or anything what's very
100%,
No matter, you got bare rappers who've been rapping, like Carl S1, yeah, Curry's One, Chuck D, they've been rapping long before certain man them today. But who would they consider legends?
Of course, yeah.
Remember, it's been, you know what I mean? Some people look at NWA or all of that gangster
Yeah.
hip hop, and they favourite most of the conscious ones.
Yeah.
You know, it's the way how.
Yeah.
It's the way how
But that's the ones that have got the right mind state, yeah.
Do you know what? It's because it's what sells.
Yeah.
You all know when you have real man saying, you know what, this gangster shit is glamorized so much, it just fucking sells.
Yeah.
That's all it is, bro.
Yeah. So on that note, I'm going to say this to you. If there's any young you out there that catches a glimpse of this interview or is out there on fuckeries and right now they're going to do some madness that's going to have them sitting in jail, their whole family's going to be fucked, what's your words to them?
You know what others say, the same way how another Rugy OG said before, innit? Whatever weapon you will pick up, just prepare to do that sentence, because that's what you gonna fucking do now. You know what I mean? There ain't no escape. You ain't gonna get away with any murder today, because if they don't catch you today, they'll catch you tomorrow, they'll catch you 10 years. Most of the people who's actually rapping and glorifying their crimes. Most people's going on interviews, people's watching their interviews, you know, and they're incriminating themselves.
Yeah.
So most of the young people, if I have to be real with you, say, just know what you're doing, bro.
Yeah.
Just know what you're doing. Sometimes that reaction, that spontaneous reaction, what makes you want to do, sometimes you just maybe have to think twice. Maybe call a friend before you go even make a move. And sometimes your loved one or your real friends will tell you not to even do certain stuff. Some people even say, just let it go, bro. Just keep doing what you do. So it's very, when it comes to really advising our youth, especially when you're not really living in that world no more, now they're assuming, you man, just make sure what you do, just do the right thing. Make sure you are willing to lose your family and your status. Because you go to jail, within 20 years people will forget about you, bro. You will be forgotten and it will fall onto you again. You are responsible for yourselves. No matter how things is for you, you are responsible for yourself.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can really say to the youth without trying to lie and shit. Just think, bro. Think. If you need extra thinking, sometimes listen to your brethren who say, let go, bro, allow it. Listen to them.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you have to listen to your parents and say, let go, because, bro, 20 years behind, look, I've got friends who's been going to jail from we were teens, bro. It's friends who I grew up. We didn't even have beards or no fucking facial hairs. We didn't even really have fucking pubic growing up, bro.
Yeah.
And they done moves and they end up regretting it, bro. Do you understand it? It's not easy. Certain things like murder and shit. And what happens is this. Me, I don't like talking about man who's in prison. You know why? You in there reforming, bro. If I call out your name and keep saying you are fucking into your badness, the system ain't gonna allow you to be free, because there's too much rotted man out here lighting up fucking man's name and on their sentence. With me, bro, some of the man them I would never call out. You know why, bro? I grew up with them, bro, from they were youths. And I realised, and the only thing I hope is when I go to fucking jail, people only call me out for what I'm doing with my Black Panther stuff. I don't know I'm calling me out for stuff what some of these men that on roll was not even on roll, but calling out people's fucking names, bro. You can't allow man them to do their sentences and reform to prove to the system that they're ready to come out to do with their children. Allow it. I ain't gonna talk no man's name in jail. I respect every man behind the prison, respect all the prisoners, bruv. I'm not gonna talk your story, because what's the point? Not worth it. You there, I'm out here. Most of the man, them youths are dealing with day to day. Grandkids I'm dealing today. Who the fuck am I to keep calling out his fucking name for? You know, like I haven't been I haven't been in the system to really know who and who and who and who. Some of the man them who was before they went to jail was my personal bona fides. I ain't gonna go up at a court no man there now on these platforms and say, yeah. Well, I know as a mature man try to do stuff for the community. You need a good fucking character reference. If you're a person who's got involved in some form of madness, but yet you have done positive stuff for your community, where they could go to your school records, where it might not really be too much into school records, but they go to your youth clubs and all. They go to your community halls, they speak to the fucking people them who's looked after you as their mentors, they write reports. When you go to court, you need all that character reference. Some of the stuff I did as a youth worker and everything made the court man a court, and the judge said to me, 280 hours community service, 180 is community service. You on a criminal discharge, only because when they're doing research, these people go out and know everything about you. They know if you are able to go to jail and fucking reform. And if you're not, then they leave you in there. They put you on IPP or some shit where they just observe you how you carry on in the prison and you never coming out. While you got some people who might be really studying, reading, and because some fuckers is looking for some clout and calling out their men's name, we just fucking jeopardising their back battle. It's like, come on, bro, people change, bruv. When push comes to wall, all your nickname goes out the window, bro, and it's just you as an individual. How about that?
So let me ask you, last but not least, is there anything about Captain Rambo that you want us to know that we don't know? Anything you want us to know about you?
Well, I don't just come you for fucking the streets and try to rah. I've been around for a long time. I've got a lot of people who I've been affiliated with and everything. A lot of stuff. I'm just doing me, you know. The respect what I get when people call me up and see me on the street and that, I'll keep it that way. You understand? And that's what I'm about. Like with me, I don't really have no secret or anything. It's people would always find out shit about you. Let the people talk. But yo, big up the people there now.
Is there anyone else you want to big up while we're here?
Do you know what? Big up the real man a minute. I gotta say that, yo, big up 95 Crip again. UPP, yo, keep doing your thing, fam. And you know what? If every youth man or any younger out there doing stuff in the community, keep it up and make sure you're doing what you're doing, innit? Because with me, I'm too fucking tired to hate people. I'm fucking getting old for all of that. Just keep doing your thing, innit?
You heard what the man said. Big up Captain Rambo for the part 2. Big up anyone who's real, like the man just said. Anyone who's really doing what they say, and there's a lot that ain't. You get me? The game's full of cowards. Obviously, I'll be back as soon as possible, but right about now, there's cowards that like to sit on interviews where they're not asked nothing real, they're just telling their story. And their story don't add up to what the people know. So, you know, until them ones there start coming correct, I'll soon be back with what I can give you. Until then, big up the young youths and keep on the straight and narrow. Don't listen to no liars. 1.